Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beatles Dustino, coming at you again today with yet another video, and maybe coming at you on the day that I planned this to be, but maybe it's a week later because of something else happening. So yes, I've lately been discussing the Beatles on colored vinyl. You know why there isn't a lot, and covering what's been out there, and there's been quite a bit more than I expected officially released over the years. And I mentioned in one of the videos that, I've also been kind of researching the picture disc, which I thought was more of a common thing. As it's the thing they've been doing recently. They haven't been doing colored vinyl really, but they have been doing picture disc. So I thought, there was a lot more out there, and not as much as I thought. But as we've done the history of the colored vinyl, let's do the history of the picture disc after the intro. So yeah, with these 50th anniversary editions, the special editions, stuff that's been coming out recently, so Sgt. Pepper's will be the one that kicked it off in 2017, the White Album in 2018, Abbey Road in 2019, Let It Be in 2021, and Revolver in 2022. We've been getting a picture disc with pretty much all of them, aside from the White Album. But how do you make a picture disc White Album? I guess I think there's ways you could. I think there is. You'd use those portraits and do a little thing on that. But anyways, that's a little off the topic. I thought, I've kind of thought this is kind of a thing that the Beatles have been doing. Well, there's not as many picture discs out there as I thought officially. So let's go through the history of what's out there. I really don't collect picture disc. I think, I think people think colored vinyl is a gimmick. I think picture disc is a big time gimmick. Now I understand the sound quality is getting much better. So, maybe I might be swayed. I don't know. And, maybe I might start to look for a few of these and, pick them up if I see them and that. I don't know. I like colored vinyl a little better. It's a little more fun. You could do a lot more with it. Nowadays on that, I guess as the picture disc, even older colored vinyl was not considered good quality vinyl. So, and that's now changed. I don't think there's anybody out there that says, too many of the colored vinyl issues are bad. The only one that I could think of recently was the John Lennon, the Mind Games EP came out on that glow in the dark thing, which that is known to be not the greatest sounding version of that. So they released the audiophile version too. That would be about the only exception I could think of with colored vinyl, where picture disc though, even still, and they've got a worse stigma on it than I think colored vinyl does. And that's part of why I haven't really collected it. And I do have one in the Beatles thing, and I believe it is my only picture disc I got in my collection. I got one other that my nephews picked up for me, real novelty thing. But anyways, that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, let's go through the history on this, because there's been a few, not as many as I thought, like I said. So, of course, we're going to start out, I'm just going to go kind of in album order. And the first one is Revolver, which didn't have anything until 2022. When it came out worldwide, and in Japan had a kind of a variation on it too. And that's the first one of that, and that was with that special edition Revolver set that came out. So the big box set, and the CD box, the vinyl box, and the two CD stuff and all that. They also got the picture disc, which I didn't collect then. Anyways, the next one would be Sgt. Pepper's, and Sgt. Pepper's did have quite a few versions before the 2017 one. So that is obviously one of them, but let's go through what the other ones were. So there was a 1978, also the same year all the colored vinyls seemed to come out. We did get some picture disc too. So the first one on Sgt. Pepper's would be in the US, and I call it the fancy sleeve because it's got kind of a fancy little design around it. There was also a misprint that had an image of Buddy Holly on it. I'll have a picture up there instead of the Sgt. Pepper's image. It was Sgt. Pepper's on the vinyl though, but the image was the wrong image. So a couple variations there. And then Japan also had a version in 1978. I think it had that fancy sleeve with it too. And then in 1979, and I think it was the same vinyl, but they just had a little different sleeve. The UK got a full cover sleeve, I call it. So it's like the album cover, and the disc sits in the middle to kind of fill in the middle part, but the edges have got what you would miss off of the disc there on the sleeve there. And then Germany also had a version in 79 that was just in a white sleeve. And then in 2017, of course, we had the 50th anniversary packages and that was part of the 50th anniversary package, was the one that came out in the EU, US, and Japan. All had kind of a version of it. I think it was the same thing, just different hype stickers maybe. Anyways, the next one would be Abbey Road, and that did have a couple earlier releases besides the anniversary release. That was again 1978 in the US and Japan. Also in 78 in the Netherlands, they had a full cover, full album cover type sleeve like the UK had for Sgt. Pepper's, where you got the missing stuff at the edges there. And then obviously in 2019, we got a worldwide release and a release in Japan of it. Next one up would be Let It Be. And believe it or not, I at first thought there's only going to be the 2021 one. There was one in 1990, so kind of an odd year in the US, and it looks, everything I could see, it was official. So that one was available, and then in 2021, of course, with the special edition, I don't think they called it the anniversary one anymore, but should have been the anniversary one, but it became the special edition, worldwide released, and Japan also had their version with the Obi strip and everything. Another one that I found album-wise, and not UK albums, not the core catalog, but Yesterday and Today had a version, and correct me if I'm wrong, Discogs is pretty good to show if it's an unofficial release. This said nothing on there about unofficial. But in 1980 at the Chicago Convention, there was a release of Yesterday and Today on a picture disc, and it was the Butcher cover. So that, everything I saw is that is an official release. I'm not positive, but I'm going to throw it in there as a mention on that anyway. There's been tons of bootleg versions of Yesterday and Today, of course, but that one supposedly is official. So the next set that we get into is all singles, and I really didn't cover singles with the colored vinyl. I did talk about the jukebox singles that came out in the 90s in the US. I didn't go through the whole list of them all. This I'm going to go through the list because it was a pretty big release, and there's not much more here. So I'm going to just go through what got released in the picture disc format on the singles. And I'm sure there's tons of colored vinyl singles out there, as I found with the albums. And I know for sure there's going to at least be, of the major singles that came out in Japan, would have been at least the red Everclean vinyl in Japan, and I'm sure there's other ones floating out there that I'm just not aware of, but I'm not going to dig too much deeper into that. I think I would spend a year or more trying to find that all, and I'm sure there's other people out there and other publications and stuff that do list that also. I'm just trying to get a fun little video out on the internet to kind of show what's out there and kind of go through what my little research has found, because I will never be writing a book. I can barely speak, let alone write a book. So anyways, let's go into what we got here for the singles here. And it was in the 80s. It was the anniversary of the single as it came out. So it would have been the 20th anniversary of the single as it came out. And they just released it during that year. So you might get one, you might get two, you might get five, whatever for the year. And that's basically how it broke down. So the first one, of course, would be Love Me Do, which came out in 82. I believe these were all just in the UK on this. So, and they might have been available in Europe too, but they were UK pressings. So, and I know they really didn't float much over to the US here, but they're out there. It's basically based off of what was in that singles box. So that came out around that same time too. So they never were released in a box. So you could only get them individually. You had to go out that year that they were in the anniversary year to get them there. So that was the only one for 82. 83 though did have several. So we had Please Please Me be the first one there. From Me to You be the next one. She Loves You. And I Want to Hold Your Hand, all in 83. So 84, of course, we get a few. So we'll start with Can't Buy Me Love. And then A Hard Day's Night. And I do got another note on that. Oh, there was a misprint of A Hard Day's Night. I'll have up there too. I Feel Fine. There we go. Wow, I really said that funny. I Feel Fine. Also in 84. And yeah, I guess I did feel fine in 84. I guess I can't think of too much that was going on there, except for me being a child. All right. Anyways, Ticket to Ride would be the next one, and the first one for 85. Help would be the next one after that. And then We Can Work It Out / Day Tripper, the first double A side one. So that would be 85 also. 86 now I got a couple, but Paperback Writer would be the first one for 86, and then another double A side, Eleanor Rigby, Yellow Submarine for 86, and we'll come back to that one at the end here. Next we got for 87 now, so celebrating 67, Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, so another double A side, and then All You Need Is Love, Hello Goodbye, Lady Madonna for 88, kicking off 88 there. Hey Jude for 88. 89 now has got a few more. And so that would be Get Back, The Ballad of John and Yoko, Something, and Come Together. And the only one for 1990, so I think that's kind of funny. The beginning was only one in 82, and the ending in 1990 was only one, which would be Let It Be. And I said I was going to get back to another one, the only one that I have, which would be Yellow Submarine and Eleanor Rigby, the only one that's been reissued since. And it's a completely different reissue, though, so it's nothing at all like those. So this one I'll actually show you. I've still got it in the shrink wrap, so we got the little limited edition hype sticker there. And I'll show you the spine there, the back, and so the main Czech Republic there. And they just slide out. I really like this sleeve. I think that's kind of fun with the little Jeremys all over there. You can see it's all over on the inside there. Oh, and then, yeah, the image of the Yellow Submarine on that side. So the packaging is really cool on this. One thing with picture disc, I think they all come in these little sleeves like this. So nothing too uncommon there. I guess how else do you see it if it's not in a sleeve like that? And there is side A, though, with a Yellow Submarine on this one. And side double A, I suppose, with Eleanor Rigby. And you got the picture of the guys there from the film. And this came out in 2018, this version. So I don't know if it was supposed to be for the anniversary of something. I suppose what would have been, nothing would have been really anniversary in the film. Yeah, that came out in 69, didn't it? I don't know. Anyways, that's when that one came out. It was 2018. And the one and only picture disc I bought, I don't know. This one really appealed to me. It wasn't terribly expensive. I thought it was just kind of cool. But past that, and I kept this sealed for the longest time because I really had no desire to open it. I just thought it was a cool little collectible. And that's the reason why I really haven't collected picture discs, because I look at it more as a collectible than a piece of vinyl, piece of art, music that I want to play. So that's why I really haven't got that into it. But anyways, I'm going to just wrap it up there. That's about what I've got. Let me know if I missed anything. I think I was pretty thorough on this. I seem to find what I found. Every single album pretty much in the main core catalog had a bootleg version. So, you know, those are out there. But like I said, I'm only talking about official stuff. I don't want to get talking about anything bootlegged, unofficial. Just the official stuff is all we're going to talk about here on this channel for the most part. Every now and then, if I do pick up something unofficial, I might show it, but I'm more into the official stuff. So I focus on that, and I want to focus on talking on that. So, and like I said, I'm sure there's stuff I've missed. So let me know in the comments if I did miss anything. I'm sure that I did. So let me know if you know of anything that I missed there. I think that'll be it for the colored vinyl picture disc on the Beatles. However, in researching this, I got having fun doing the research, and I started researching colored vinyl history of their solo careers. So I'm going to try to figure out how to break it down, and we're probably going to be seeing once every couple weeks, I'll do one of the solo career stuff. And I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to break down colored vinyl versus picture disc like I did with the Beatles, or what. I don't know. Some of them, they might not have quite as much, and I might not go as deep into the singles on some. However, I have already pretty much researched all this, so I've got all the singles pretty much covered too. So we'll see what happens when it comes out. But yeah, I'll go through John's, George's, Paul's, Ringo's collection, and what's out there for colored vinyl and what's out there for picture disc. Believe it or not, there's not as much as I would have thought on that. I think Paul is the king on all of this. I think he's got the most. He doesn't have the most albums, of course, but I think he's got the most of any of this type of stuff too. Ringo has got quite a few, but all of his stuff has been just very recently. We'll see what happens here, and I'll go through that in future videos, so be on the lookout for that. I'm going to get totally wrapping up though. So as I'm saying on that. I want to thank all my subscribers, and thanks to any new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit that notification bell so you know when I got those next videos coming out about the colored vinyl on the solo careers and the picture disc and so forth and so on. And also, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel and the video. And like I always say, if you have stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you think these are cool, if you collected them, if you've got them. Let me know what on that. One thing I'd really like to know too is that Yesterday and Today, the Butcher cover Yesterday and Today picture disc, is that an official release? Let me know your thoughts on that too. So I got quite a few little topics for you there to leave some comments there, because that also really helps out the channel and the video too. So anyways, I'm going to get totally signing out. I am Beatle Dustino, signing out.